Nerd morning, everyone. So I have both of my brothers here with me today, and we wanted to talk a little about some superheroes and the superhero genre. There's a lot of value and importance to that. I mean, I'm pretty much dedicating a lot of my life to this, so I find a lot of value here, but I think it's honestly something that's pretty significant and prolific, particularly in American culture and honestly throughout the world. For me, my favorite superhero is Batman. And that's a pretty common thing. If you look through the different statistics of who the most popular character is, who's done the most sells, Batman. He is the winner. And there have been times where Superman has. Totally. Spider-Man is a big contender. Like, those three there are the biggest and have been for years and years and years. I'm not that original, but I feel like I have original and unique things that make him important to me, and ultimately that's what matters, is what those characters do for you. So I guess with you guys, who is your favorite and why?
One of my favorites is probably The Flash, for a couple of reasons. In an episode of Justice League, there's a episode where Batman is with the Flash, and they go and they find Trickster in a bar.
Oh yes, love this scene.
And instead of just beating the snot out of him and dragging him away, like Batman wants to do, Flash sits down and talks with him, and just like, hey man, how are you doing? Are you having a rough day? Are you off your meds again? Okay, so here's the situation. Do you know what's going down? Alright. They're about to walk out of the bar, and Batman's like, are you just gonna leave him there? Oh yeah. By the way, turn yourself in.
And he's like, he lifts up his glass and he's like, you got me again, Flash.
And they just go about their day.
Yeah, he has this sense that people are good. Even his villains.
Barry Allen is probably the most positive.
Yeah. And
Yes.
and
He's
huge, tremendously powerful individual too, which is super cool. But his heart is so big.
He has a lot of the heart, and while Batman is obviously the paramount of the awesome, I am prepared for anything, I can do anything, even though I'm the mortal of the group.
Right.
The Flash is the guy with the biggest heart.
I would agree. That's super valid. That's a really good answer. So Joseph, your favorite?
If I have to pick one, it is also Batman. And a lot of it comes from my childhood. I was first introduced to Batman by none other than, of course, Adam West. Nick at Night, my first introductions to Batman and Robin. It was just such a fun show. And still, anytime I catch that again, I'm like, ooh, Batman! Oh, and the Joker.
Joker surfing, Batman would dance like this.
Dances,
Shark repellent.
Yeah, the Bat Shark repellent, the Bat everything.
Yes,
which Robin
still, because of that show, still, you have the Bat whatever.
Right.
They make jokes on that, they did just a couple comics ago.
Yeah.
It's still a thing.
It's still a thing.
Hey, Robin, can you change the Bat Terry on the Batmobile? What's a Terry?
But some of that was also the concept that that version of Batman was about the law, about following the law, especially the time period it was made. It makes perfect sense.
He was deputized, pretty much.
He was. And he was always giving these moral speeches to Robin. So it was very much the right is right. And you do the right thing, which can be true for basically all versions of Batman.
Yeah.
He's going to do the right thing. Whether it's the legal thing or not, he's going to do the right thing. And that's a moral aspect that I've adopted for me also, is you do the right thing.
Yeah.
And
in some of his stories, that's a little bit more of a nuanced aspect. But yeah, for me, I absolutely love Batman for the fact that you kind of talked about that. It was he is the mortal among gods.
Right. And
he is often the one that people say, Batman versus Superman. Well, we've seen it actually a couple of times, and it's not Superman.
It's not Superman.
It's Batman.
Yep.
And it's because he is prepared, he is determined. His one thing that he has going for him over anything else is he will not give up.
His iron will.
And I absolutely love that because he
Yes.
captures in that way the human spirit. And that to me is so powerful, and I can relate to him in those ways. And like honestly, Superman sometimes is hard to relate to, and there's a lot of criticism there. I think some unfounded, but like they're also like it's true. He is literally
There's a problem. Okay, I'll move the mountain.
right? Boom.
I
You
think-
have to teach and explore some of his characters'
Yeah.
stories differently. You have to approach them in a
Yes.
different way.
I think that's actually some of the main difference between most of the DC superheroes and most of the Marvel superheroes is the Marvel ones, they might not be as deified sometimes. They try to make them very relatable.
Totally.
Okay?
And
We've all
approach.
done DC
Yeah.
as favorites so far, so
Oh,
we should do
man.
favorite Marvel.
That's true. I guess we're all like a little bit of a DC family, which is something that's interesting. But yeah, that's true. Okay.
Marvel,
John.
Okay.
Marvel is very humanizing and very fun that way. In some ways, I like Hawkeye out of the Avengers because
Similar reason.
He is
Uh-huh.
totally the
Yeah.
human of the group. I think in one of the Avengers
I thought you were going to
movies-
say because he's got like the heart of the group.
Well,
you know,
sometimes
tying
that
into
too.
Flash.
Sometimes that too, but
At
I think
least in
in,
the
in
MCU.
Age of Ultron,
Right.
there's a line where he's basically saying like we're on a floating ink city island and fighting an army of robots. I have a bow and arrow. None of this makes sense.
Which is-
Talking to the superhero
Yeah, talking
in
to-
embryo.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay, Joseph. What about you?
That one, I have to do a toss-up for Captain America and Iron Man. At
So
least
you are the Civil War.
He's got the Civil War in his
Yeah.
soul.
Because Iron Man is the crap. There was this thing that I was completely blind to, but now I see it, so I'm gonna make it happen. He's kind of Batman in that aspect.
Often compared.
Right. And Captain America, Steve Rogers, was the have nothing and then had everything, but he kept his right is right attitude, especially in the MCU, but even in the comics.
Oh yeah, definitely in the comics.
And so he's very much that, he's got the goodness of Superman, but the unconquerable spirit of Batman. So
That's a lot of points in Captain America.
I have to say both.
Yeah. So, oh man, guys, I'm like so basic. I feel so basic.
He's a
I
Spider-Man.
have
It's
read
okay, you can say Spider-Man.
so much
You can
love
say
for
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man is
Oh,
awesome.
man.
though.
Okay,
He is
so,
awesome.
Like,
Which Spider-Man?
That's
You have
true.
the Amazing Spider-Man, the
That's part of what's
Superior
Superior
cool.
Spider-Man,
Yeah,
the Ultimate
totally.
Spider-Man,
Like-
the Miles Morales Spider-Man.
who is amazing,
No, that's
Like-
also Peter.
I know.
The various Spider Women.
Right?
Let's not forget them.
right? Like, okay, so if we're
Spider-Gwen.
drilling all the way down, like Peter Parker, he's just had so much history with me. The Ultimate series that they did with Brian Michael Bendis, there's like 20, 30 volumes of this.
Wow.
And
That's a lot.
he's written a ton of books in that particular series, and I loved that series so much. I have definitely read far more DC than I have Marvel, which I'm working on all my Marvel stuff. But I went through a majority of that series, like just because availability for the last like section there, like they're just hard to find. But like, oh man, so good, and like he is he's just so good, guys.
I have one reason why Spider-Man's pretty awesome.
Okay.
Actually, it's the same reason why I like the Flash. He's very human. He very much cares about the people he works with. Most of Spider-Man's villains go in and out of villainy all the time. The Lizard, he's constantly saving him and turning it back to Dr. Connors. There's even one or two times where one or two versions of Dr. Octopus is kind of a good guy, and at some times, and he's always trying to save the person and not just viewing them as a villain, which I find very
what a heart
strange.
this guy has. He's always like, this guy's just such a good person.
So
I'm like,
dark.
oh man. Okay, so there's a like a little comic strip web series. It's not official or anything. That just is really really fun. It's called Jail 8. It's about like the Justice League if they were like 8-year-olds in a classroom. Just totally an impossibility. But they have this thing where one of the characters going around, and the other one's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm playing Spider-Man, and like it's like even like the DC characters would love Spider-Man, and it's just so true. But okay, so one of the major reasons why I like Spider-Man, particularly Peter Parker, is he was the first young superhero, and he was a character. So allegedly, as the story goes, Stan Lee goes up to some of the executives and says, "Guys, I have this really cool idea. Spider-Man, he's got these spider powers, and he's going to be a kid." And they're like, no, superheroes are adults. Sidekicks are kids. And so that doesn't work. You know, the sidekicks are the ones that have the teenage angst and the struggles this way, and the heroes are heroes because they don't have these real life things. They're above that. You know, they swing their mighty Thor hammer, and that's how they deal with problems. And he goes, no, this is going to be really good. And they say, well, another thing is kids don't like spiders, so they're not going to like this character. Again, both were proven wrong. So issue 15 of Amazing Fantasy, they said, we're ending that series, go for it, introduce your character, and then, you know, we don't have to do anything with him again.
By the way, that comic is now basically worth $1 million.
Well, maybe not quite $1 million, but like a really good quality one you could maybe buy a house with. So, yeah, like,
just saying Spider-Man is popular.
But like, he was like, really had this sense that superheroes could be kids and could be for kids. And the thing that makes him so interesting and engaging is because they were like, let's make him relatable. And, you know, for me, like, reading comics as a teenager, as a kid, I'm like, hey, you know, he's going through some of the same things I'm struggling with. And he's always, you know, like even now, like some of his older stuff.
What do I say to the girl?
Right? I still, like, work with that all the time.
I mean, even Batman being the most human of the Justice League for DC, he's still basically Jeff Bezos in wealth. I mean, how are we actually supposed to relate to Bruce Wayne?
Yeah,
Batman?
he's like, you know, I'll just buy this hotel. Now I'll make my own rules. You know,
Spider-Man is probably lucky to take a picture of the hotel.
Right. That's the thing is he's like he's this struggling artist because his photography things. He's a very smart individual, but always seems to get the breaks. And he, like, you know, we struggle in life.
That's
if
part
you're
of life.
all like the regular people, and so he has all of these different struggles, and like. Honestly, the like trueness to that with the other Spider characters, generally speaking, has carried over super well. Miles Morales, same type of feeling, same type of theme. Yep. And you know, he's going through school. He's trying to figure out how to interact with the people around him. He's got his financial struggles that he has to deal with.
I think they did a good job with Into the Spider-Verse showing Miles Morales' youthful angst.
Right? And like similarly, you know, the Ghost Spider, the Spider-Gwen character, similar things. They also give her a rock band and let her be a drummer, which is so cool. And you have to love that about her.
There's also a rock band Spider-Man.
Yes, the punk rock Spider-Man, so cool.
Thanks to the Spider-Verse, there's a Spider-Man for you. Whatever you are.
Totally. So, yeah, I feel really basic now because we're like, okay, you know, Batman, Spider-Man, you know, okay.
But you have your reasons.
I totally
do. As long as
do.
you have your reasons, it's your thing, and you don't have to feel bad.
Right? Oh, my gosh. Oh, man. My bookshelf is just like Batman, you know, like my Marvel section, I got this whole Spider-Man section. Okay. Well... I hope that this was a fun type of experience for you guys. Just going to be able to talk about some superheroes, things that we love. We find out how basic I am. Also, we just kind of explore about some of the value of the superhero genre. So hopefully that was good. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content like this. And thank you guys so much for watching.
Oh, and be sure to comment your favorite superheroes below.
Definitely put us which one's your
And
favorite.
why?
And
why
why.
is important.
Totally. Cool. Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.